Hi and welcome to the audio commentary for the development of Flash to Titans. I'm Fessel, the team leader and designer.
And I'm Zach McAllister, and I'm the lead programmer and co-designer.
And I'm Stuart Lenningham. I was the environment artist and user interface artist. And Fessel, I think you should give props to mentions to all the other people that are involved in the project who aren't here.
Also, thanks to Georgita Rain, who is our character artist, as well as done the animations for the characters, as well as Sean Cairns, who happily decided to do the audio for us. So this is the first day. This is just the user interface stuff. So we have the health moving, that's health slowly cracking. We've got we've got currency that actually works, as well as the spawning for enemy units.
I'd like to point out that I had no input whatsoever into the UI programming. That was all Fessel. That's why it's hideous.
It works. The only reason I did do the UI program, it was just the short time scale. Otherwise, Zach could have done the whole thing himself. But
when you combined the two code towards the end, which was good.
Yeah, that's what day two.
Anyway, let's give a brief mention about the inspirations for the game and what general idea for it was.
Well, it was mostly was it Swords and Soldiers?
Yeah.
That was a pretty nice game. We were like, there's not many games like that. Mm-hmm. And when we found out we had to do an RTS in 7 days, I just thought it would be easy to go with this. And then I think you and Georgita mentioned that you'd like to try out a Greek-style theme, see how we'd get on with that.
See, I prefer to see it as more of just Dota, but without heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people have described it, as just Dota without heroes.
That's kind of what it turned into, I guess.
Yeah.
But the original intention was there to make something pretty sweet, but it didn't quite come together how we'd wanted. But we're still reasonably happy with our first project there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Fessel, what did we do on day 3?
Yeah. Well, on day 3 was a very slow day for quite a lot of people, actually, because Georgita did manage to get the some of the characters done. She did the Hydra, Minotaur, and basically all the enemy characters. And Stu touched up all the forest tiles, and basically all I did was some instruction screens and started on the audio programming.
So many instruction screens.
Which means that on day 4, and a little bit on day 3, that was when I really set up the framework to deal with all of the different tile assets and to make the paths join up nicely together.
Oh god, getting stuff to join up was such a nightmare.
Yeah. Working with hexes is a pain in the ass, and I'm sorry I ever suggested it.
No, it's not that. It's just modular artwork in general can be a bit tricky.
It would have been a lot easier if we were just working with squares, though.
Yeah, I remember suggesting squares, and we were like, actually, it would look better with hexagons, and we realised just how much of a pain and why no one uses it.
To be fair, it did look okay at the end, but it took us about 3 times as long to actually develop because of it. Fucking hexagons. They're the worst shape of all.
So day 5.
Yeah, I'd started to work on sort of getting the units to sort of meet each other in the middle. The reason that it looks like ass and that in the final game it didn't even work that well was because I kind of failed to come up with a way of doing it from the start and just had to crowbar it in. So it wasn't the most elegant solution, but I got there in the end.
What was it that was so tricky? Was it the collision or getting HP systems to work? Or?
It was just the way I'd set it up. It was a whole mess. If we did this again from scratch, I think I could give a much better go at it. But that's why I was so down on the idea of trying to polish it up, because I knew that the way that the combat worked was fucking awful. So I didn't really want to work with the code again.
I can see your typos everywhere, Fessel.
Yeah, no, that is pretty bad. Why don't I do all of the writing from this point onwards?
Well, that was the thing. I didn't have, I don't know, the spell checker, my word just crapped out and it wouldn't ever work. So I never...
You don't need a spell checker, man. You just need to be brainy.
Well, we did. We did actually, at the end, go through the title screen and start reading them up.
For spell checking, we used a combination of Google and 2 versions of Word.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was like every time we looked at a word that didn't look right, we just used Google.
In the last couple of days, you guys were just sat there, making more and more instruction screens while I artists doing like the rest of the coding and making sure that the combat worked and adding extra little features in and that kind of thing. So by the end of it, we had like 50 different instruction screens, and I've only read about 2 of them.
Yeah,
I missed that original title screen as well. Just the name. Here we go. Now we've got the border and a fancier UI.
That part.
And the health bars, apparently. I learned how to make health bars via the tutorial back in first year in uni, and the technique has not changed even when moving to S3, so that was fairly easy.
If we ever do like health bars again, could I give you custom graphics for it?
Yeah, no problem.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, it's just a basic. It's just very basic as far as I know to do it. But oh my god, that border that you gave me was such a pain.
Oh, and I got it synced up within 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was because, see the glow bits down the bottom, I thought that was just white space. So every time I was doing it, I was like, why is that there? And I was confused thinking that was white space and never would get it synced up.
Oh yeah, I can kind of see what you mean.
At this stage, the game was really starting to come together. Like, it was still glitchy as all hell, but like, everything was pretty much there.
The terrain generation, that worked.
Yeah, when you zoom in especially, it really, you can tell that the health bars do not meet the art style of the rest of the game.
They did a job.
Yeah, no, it was one of those things you didn't consider was really if we were going to have health bars in the game originally, because we didn't really consider that, but it's one of those things we'll think of later on. Well, that in the combat, I really should have sat down, did a full pen and paper thing to really test how the combat numbers should have worked. By the end, the combat's still a bit broken.
Well, to be fair, I think it's like the strategizing that's the most broken. Like, as the guy in the comments said, and like obviously I'd been testing it a whole load, so I knew this too, that basically the best way to win is just to spam as many units as possible down a particular lane, and
that's what I do.
Make sure that you get one of each kind to the end. It doesn't matter what the commander is. But yeah, no, it was an interesting idea. Had some elements of Pokemon which I appreciated, like combat triangle sort of stuff, and the artwork looked nice. And,
also, let's talk a bit more about the whole Greek inspiration stuff. We've got that arm crumbling, which is meant to be like, say, the arm of Zeus being defeated, because they're essentially fighting the gods in this, aren't you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're supposed to be you're the Titans, and you're supposed to be fighting like the monsters that the Greek gods would have destroyed. But we're like, actually, we're using Titans, so we changed it to Zeus, from Zeus to Kronos. Because just said it was Kronos.
Kronos went back in time using his Titan time powers, ate Zeus as a baby, and therefore the gods never had his leadership to win in the God Titan Wars, and then the Titans defeat the gods, but because the gods weren't there, all of their pets got super hungry and started trying to destroy the world or something. Or what the storyline.
You heard it here first, people. It's canon. Replace the Bible.
It's pretty much what the story was. It was just because the gods weren't there. Shit got bad again.
Shit got bad.
Shit got bad, and the only way to fix it is to play a shitty strategy game.
On the last day, I spent a lot of time kind of doing minor little fixes, hooking up the game over and the windscreen. Resetting the game didn't work properly. I'm not sure if anyone's noticed this, but when you click replay, it does crash. But, you know...
Let's just assume nobody would want to play it twice.
I thought I removed all that stuff.
Yeah, it proved a little bit difficult because I'm fairly new to Flash and brand new to AS3, so I was not prepared to do all that stuff. That's why none of the Z-depth sorting between the units worked, like why they would overlap weird.
I think you did pretty good considering.
Yeah.
If I was doing it in DirectX, it would have been perfect, but Flash has certain limitations and certain benefits.
I've just remembered one user interface thing I always forgot to do. You know how you get the notification, not enough money for this unit?
Yeah.
Like, it's still using, like, the placeholder vessel text by the end.
Yeah, I know that. We didn't really get around to that, because
Got to change it.
I think Zach didn't want it in the game by the end.
Across the top of the screen?
No.
When you don't have enough money for that unit, it just comes up not enough money.
Was the Spider-Woman's attack a spiderweb?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, right. Because I always thought she was just like, the animation was so fast that I just saw her like do this crazy little magic flash. I had no idea what was... Obviously, guys, I didn't have that much input into the art pipeline. Me and Stu worked pretty closely together working on all of the environment tiles. But after that, I kind of sat back and started working on the code with mostly placeholder art until all of the characters were finished.
And of course, me and Fessel are butting our heads together over the UI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the main problem was that all the characters were imported by me, so you didn't really know what was going on until the end. Well, I imported all the characters into the game, and then I put in the code to tell them when to play this animation.
Yeah.
I just saw the glitch where two things are evenly matched and kill each other at the same time, and they do that thing where they start walking past each other again and then drop dead.
That's not a glitch, that's a feature. It's a homage to the old style samurai battles.
Hey guys, remember the difference between a glitch and a feature is documentation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've documented it somewhere. We did it in a week, and this was like our first ever project. So it's pretty impressive, I think, since we...
I'd just like to point out that Kallipso Nikon means most beautiful victory or some shit in Greek, and Fassel insisted we used it.
It sounds cool.
I didn't insist.
The title, Splash of the Titan.
Yeah, and I was pretty happy with Flash of the Titans. I was like, well, just add a small subtitle somewhere.
I think Kallipso Nikon sounds like some sort of juice. I like it.
Yeah, we're starting our own branding.
Maybe that's what we should do. Okay, guys, look out for Kallipso Nikon in 5 wonderful fruit flavors in a retail outlet near you. All right, we've been Team Tart Paint, and you've been listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll have links in the description.